long had a philosophy, and they call it soar with the eagles, pay the eagles, and starve the turkeys.
They say that's their philosophy, straight up.
Yes.
Like in their meetings.
So they're going to pay a few people.
Stephen A., McAfee, they're going to get paid.
Yeah, they're going to get paid.
And starve everybody else.
Like, and the rest of the people and the level of expertise, and like, that's gone out the window.
So what does Stephen A. get?
I mean, I don't know exactly.
But I mean,
what his numbers.
You're saying it's huge.
$20 million now.
What's a guy like Ryan Clark get?
$2 million.
I don't know what Ryan Clark was making, but I think
you had to guess.
But the problem is, just like with the economy, they don't have a middle class.
Okay.
Like, you can either come in as a beginner tier level, or I was a role player, because if you look at it, they don't hire a lot of star players anymore. Because also these guys have made a lot of money, and they're not going to do that job for that amount of money.
Okay.
Y'all catch that? See, this is why you got to watch Fully Loaded, dog. One of the reasons why ESPN is hiring, you're like, who's this guy? Or he wasn't that good, or he was good, but he all right. Why you hire Wiley? What you hire Wiley for? So many other DNs. One, the top DNs, I ain't doing that job, dog. I ain't going back and starting over. This is why coaches, people always say, where are all the black coaches at and all this stuff? There's a culture, there's a mindset that comes with, hey, I already was good at something. I ain't starting at the bottom. You know why there's not so many black coaches? One of the reasons is because you got to become a GA. You know what a GA is? Man, grab ass. Broke. Like, they ain't paying you nothing. You a do-boy. And a lot of cats be like, man, I ain't doing that. Being real, that's one of the layers. That's one of them. He just said it. ESPN can't hire the guys they always want. Remember, they were trying to get Peyton Manning forever. Peyton Manning was like, I am not, what? Bristol? And then they had to New York. No, nothing. I am staying in Denver when I want to be in Denver. Then what do? They end up the new model with McAfee breaking through and getting his partnership and licensing his show. What do they do now? They say, hey, Peyton, can you go down the street to your friend's house in his garage, and can we do it there? Absolutely.
So what they're looking for now are guys that were role players.
Who will do it for that kind of money?
Yeah, that's the only ones will do it. Like, so if you look at the people that replace these people, like the McCourty, he got the Monday night pregame show. They just announced it this morning. But, you know, he's no level of broadcaster that Ryan Clark is. But that's the way they do. When downsize Disney, they're only going to pay so many people. And
that's how you get McCourty. You say, McCourty, we know you cheaper than Ryan Clark right now, but we're going to sell you on this opportunity, and we're going to get rid of Ryan Clark, even though we got to still pay that money, but it's going to come off the books then. We ain't got to pay him another contract. And then McCourty going to be pumped at the money he's making, but he going to be on Monday Night Football. And that's how they do it. Dog, they reckon by a new one. Your crew run, your crew run. They literally reckon by a new one. It's a weird business. And he says there's no middle class. I actually think there is, but I know exactly what he's saying. It's like either you just starting out there and they're going to give you all these good opportunities for the cheap, or you're a big dog. You're an eagle, as he said. But the real of it is, the middle class to me is they build you up. They let you become a Dan Orlovsky. They let you become a Ryan Clark. You almost there. And Dan Orlovsky, remember his last deal? It was a little sketchy. They didn't know what was going to happen at the Super Bowl this year. Remember Ryan Clark's deal before? A couple years ago? He had to make the video, and he had to kind of like tell him, hey, value me, man. You know, it's just the way it goes. It's their model. But he's explaining it perfectly.
The pie, they're going to leave a sliver for the rest of the people. That's it.
But he was fired because you're saying he was asking, you think they knew he was going to want more money? Because he was already working for what he was working for, right?
Well, yeah, I think at a certain point that they're going to cut costs, and eventually they're going to, I don't know why they let him go.
Okay.
Like that really didn't make any sense, especially they're going to pay the rest of his contract.
Correct.
I think they really let him go simply because they paying Schrager so much money to come in. He's going to get a new show. They're going to have the Super Bowl this year. They don't want any antics. Like this, think about it. The best indicator of future behavior is past behavior. In the past, Ryan Clark has hijacked some moments. What you don't want when all this money is on the line And I said this before they hired McCourty to replace him. You need someone safe. Ryan Clark wasn't safe. As much as he changed and he pivoted, pun intended, and as much as Ryan Clark even said, hey, man, I changed up and wanted to do everything they wanted me to do. Too late. You already showed me who you are. Who was that? That said, you know, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Who was that? Angel Mayo or something like that? Somebody said it. Some famous author. I remember hearing that. Ryan, sorry. That zebra can't change his stripes now.
Right.
You know, so.
Yeah. So somebody leaked it from ESPN that shouldn't have leaked it. They had a discussion. They said we're going to terminate him.
People have allies and people talk. So obviously it got out there. It was a fact. They were going to let him go. Because if you look the last 10 years, about once a year they have layoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And about every 3 years they have major layoffs as far as their talent. And this was just another one that Ryan Clark got caught in this one.
Did you see? Were you the one that sent me that, Drew? The AJ when Hawk was talking to McAfee about it. That was actually funny when he was like, "Yo, Ryan's not there anymore because they got to pay you so much money. You keep taking everybody's money, bro." He was like, "No, come on." He's like, "No, I'm just saying, like you take everybody's money. I'm not mad, but they can't employ nobody because you want so much money. There'd be nobody left over at that place." And McAfee just kept. You could tell he wasn't fired up about it. He's like, "No, man." He's like, "I'm just saying, like you taking too much of the money, you know." But there was a huge disparity at the top of them guys.
Well,
huge.
Yeah, Stephen A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.